team, welcome to your weekly update. Here's our big monthly update where we give all reminders and protocol changes and things that are upcoming for the new month. So we have a lengthier one today with lots of good information for you. First reminder is that our safety training in humanity that has been signed to everyone needs to be completed by Monday, February 1st. So besides this video being due by 8 a.m. on Tuesday, the humanity training assigned to you by safety training, this is again for AHA. Safety training must be done every year. It is a very well put together PowerPoint presentation from Alex and Jamie, who did a wonderful job for this for you guys, and made it quite easy to understand and simple. When you click I'm finished, there's going to be a couple questions for you just to ensure your understanding of it. And that's it, guys. It's really easy. Please look through the slides, get the information you need. Most of it should be pretty known to you already, but just ensure that you know the facts and then answer those quick questions. There's still about 30 people who need to get this done before Monday the 1st, okay? It's a must. It's not a if you want to, so please get it done in a timely fashion. Assistant managers, please help your team by looking through and helping to remind if they maybe feel like they have done it and missed something. So please help remind. Next section is just about our hospital area employee pets. When needing routine care, please kind of stick to that 8 to 5 if you can. Obviously, if you work overnight, it's different. Maybe while you're working, you can bring your pet in for like a drop-off visit or something like that. If you do want to be in the appointment with your pet, be sure to make the appointment at a time that you can actually attend the appointment time, okay? Or even stick around and help with the appointment if that's your preference or something like that, just to be a part of that. We're just really asking kindly for no routine such as wellness, puppy visits, kitten visits on the weekends. As all of you know, if you work as a CCS or a nurse over the weekend, things are wild. We don't quite have as many doctors and staff on hand, and this is when other places are closed, so we get lots of walk-ins and drop-offs and very sick pets, emergency surgeries, all these kinds of things. So I don't think it's unfair what we're asking, guys, not for routine care. If your pet is sick, like any other client, by all means, give us a call and come on in. We're going to fit you in like we would anybody else. Of course, you have that guarantee for sure. But we're just talking about routine type care. Even if you work the weekends, right, at least let it be a drop-off, but really if it's for the weekend, try to avoid it. Stick to the Monday through Friday if you can, during routine hours that we can take care of routine care. And again, you can be part of that visit if you like. Okay, so just nothing routine on the weekends for employee pets if at all possible. Sicknesses are completely different. Okay, then we have some new and changes, updates that need to happen. One is we really need to put a stop to house calls for our routine in-house doctors. Dr. Don is still going to be doing his Crowley vet area house calls, but he can also do Lafayette area too. They are all set up. The CCS know how to schedule these things appropriately and such. So if you have a phone call that is for a house call, whatever, but especially euthanasia, please offer this on Wednesdays with Dr. Don, okay? Especially for other routine type appointments, but even for euthanasia, if it's around that time, that's definitely what we can do. We are no longer going to have CCS make appointments for house call euthanasias for any other doctor. If this does happen where a doctor wants to do this for a client, that's going to be on the terms of this doctor and this client have been working with their pet for so long, they have each other's cell phone numbers and everything, and they've probably already made a plan for this because the pet's been around for so long, they've had this huge relationship, they have each other's cell phone numbers, and they are friends and everything too, okay? So a doctor can schedule this for themselves and that client separately, but as far as like our regular protocols, CCS do not schedule in-home euthanasias or house calls for any other doctor except for Dr. Don, okay? That'll be the protocol. So doctors, ensure that you are telling these clients, if you make a special arrangement for them, that if they call to schedule it, they're going to get a no from our team because this is not something we can usually provide at all. It's very hard for us, very busy. We're not really set up for success in house calls. So please advise the client of that and let them know that they really need to speak to you directly as a doctor to set that up otherwise, okay? Because it's really got to be your time to do it. And again, our CCS team and nursing team is going to know that we generally don't do this, so the answer is no if people are calling and asking for that, other than with Dr. Dawn, okay? So that's our new change in house call protocols. And CCS, if you do see one on the schedule, please, of course, use your best judgment, right? Don't give them a call and reschedule that. We're going to get through the ones we already have scheduled. Doctors have probably already made arrangements for this kind of thing, and it's a very sensitive subject. So I would imagine if it's on the schedule, a doctor made that appointment and it's supposed to be there. If you have a question, call the doctor and ask him about it. Don't just make any changes, okay? So that's last on that. Our big one for this week is actually that a few months back, if you remember, we sent you a code for anonymous help with an engagement survey. So we were asking, how are we doing as a team? How are we doing as a business? How are we doing with our culture? All kinds of questions were asked in this anonymous survey. And depending on what department you're in and all these kinds of things, we had it's a company called Culture Amp actually put together all these results and give us some ideas on where we're doing good and where we can use some improvement. So it had things like categories of like work-life balance, feeling valued in the company, all kinds of things, right? How proud do you feel to work for us? Just those kinds of things. And it was really, really awesome to get this type of result and know where we do well and know where we need improvements, because it's part of our core values, right? Continuing self-improvement. It's the same thing for our company, not just individuals. We constantly want to grow and do better. Though I think we do a pretty good job, and that's exactly what our engagement survey results said, is that really 85% of our team feel great and fully engaged with everything, that was asked. About 10%, 11% or so is kind of neutral, with maybe we don't know if that's new people or just kind of like on the fence people, like not thrilled but not upset either. And then the last 4% was on the negative side. So we have a focus area, that some group is not feeling maybe as valued, or don't feel like we have a great work-life balance, or don't feel something, right? So that's kind of the spread. 85 great, 10 middle, 4 or 5, on the lower end. So I don't feel like that's awful. I think that's a pretty good start. As far as like corporation and who we get to compare to is NBA. And, out of 126 other hospitals, we are above the other rankings. And I think that is wonderful. But again, it's something to be proud of, but we're never going to say, okay, good enough, right? So we're always going to continue to be better. So what we'd like to offer is we're going to take our lowest ranking questions, answers, and our categories rather, and we're going to post something up. Alex is going to help us get this together to where we can post small group sessions for anyone who would like to participate, and we'll maybe post a topic and say, okay, work-life balance, all right? Our traction team got together over Tuesday and Wednesday, and we worked through lots of things over the course of 2 days for our company for this next year to do some planning. And we had some ideas definitely for work-life balance, right? I mean, this year, through horrible IT outages at us, and through COVID at us, the world has just gone very different than it was in the last year. But while we have some ideas, I think it's wrong of us to just try and do all of the ideas ourselves, because we need to hear from you who are in it and are reporting these things. So if you'd like to participate in these small group sessions, we're going to post a topic and allow up to a certain amount of people, or invite certain groups of people. I'm not sure how we'll do it just yet. And we'll get some feedback from you guys to see how you think we can do this better. What's a fair way this business can grow in this area? What's a fair way that you can feel more heard and valued, or whatever the category or topic might be, so that we get to hear from you and you get to have a real say into how we may change things. Of course, if we can't have all the ideas and we get to implement them all, there's no way we can do it all, but we desperately want to hear from you and get aid from you in making this better. And then it's what it's for. It's for the business, it's for our team, it's for all of us. It's not just for 1 or 2 people. So with that being said, one of the areas to work on for sure is work-life balance. I think everybody could agree with that, and it's definitely like our biggest area for improvement. especially after the year we just had. So one thing that we saw was that work-life balance is a big thing. So over the traction time that we had together, we did get together, like I said, some ideas by adding some different types of shifts and such like that, so that, through COVID and things like that, as people do get sick or have to call out for normal reasons and things like that, maybe we can have a different schedule set up that we might not have to call for every shift that is called out, because call outs are more frequent generally. I do want to give a big praise and thank you to our team, though, because over the course of time, between bonuses and all those things that we started, trying to get incentivizing team members to feel more responsible for their shifts that they're already assigned to them, we have seen improvement. We've seen bonuses being given for hard work and extra work. We've seen people taking full responsibility for the shifts that they have to last minute call out for, other than emergencies. Obviously, manager on call are always going to help you with those things, but just for those undue circumstances, sometimes we do get a little sick, sometimes babysitters don't work out, things like that. We've seen a tremendous increase in the help from you, and we really have to thank you for that. It's not only helping us as managers on call, just the least, that's the least worry of that. It's really your team, because when someone has to call out, it definitely leaves the team to struggle sometimes, unless we're just not that busy, and then we don't have to call anybody anyway. But all of you have probably worked in some form of situation over the last year where multiple people have called out and we are left shorthanded, and it is a real struggle when we're as busy as we have been, especially at the hospital. So that can happen at any point, though, in grooming, daycare, anything else. So it's very important. So I appreciate, we all do, the responsibility you felt and have worked on so hard to change. It's very appreciated when you're already assigned for a shift and you're like, gosh, I'm really not feeling that great, and you work ahead to trade with somebody. Or your babysitter calls out and you can't do it last minute, you make a switch or a trade or work it out to help cover shifts, and maybe make a promise to another team member to help them when they have a need. Those things are so very helpful, and again, it's more of a trade-off versus a manager on call calling constantly someone who is off finally after the last 48 hours potentially of work, because that happens sometimes in the medical field. But we don't want it to be a forever thing. We're very aware, and we're trying to work hard on not having that be such a struggle. We definitely don't want you working 85, 90 plus hours a pay period, not for the means of overtime and such, but for the real reason of burnout. I have to feel that people are saying no more often because they're being asked so often they just need a break. So again, with the extra responsibility of our team taking full ownership of their position, and if they have to call out, helping themselves, hugely a huge help. And then lastly, making some schedule changes and things so that hopefully, if we do have to make a rearrangement due to a call out, hopefully we can rearrange and really hold off on calling people on their off time. It's very important to have that off time so that you can decompress and sleep in if you want, and just have some fun. So we're really focusing on that for sure right now, as we have been, but we're really focusing it on, and you guys are all making it possible by helping be responsible for your shifts that are already assigned. So can't thank you enough for that. A couple of things with the manager on call. We've really noticed that there's not much you can do about someone running a little bit late. So we do want to ask and make a couple of changes here. If you are running 30 minutes or less late, so 2 minutes to 50 minutes to 30 minutes, we probably won't be able to find anyone to help cover that. It's such a short amount of time. So calling the manager on call it usually doesn't help in either way. So we wanted to let you guys know that. Don't worry about giving the manager on call a call if you're going to be less than 30 minutes late. Please don't make it a thing, right? Tardies aren't tracked this way. Tardies are tracked through your assistant managers pulling reports constantly on Humanity to ensure responsibility and accountability here. So that's not a thing, so don't think they're not going to know you weren't late. There's still a report for that, but I don't think there's a real need to call the manager on call for that, as they really can't do much about it. So that's a change there. If you have an equipment failure or something broken, or something just not quite acting right, some piece of equipment that you probably need for your workspace, right? It needs to work correctly. If it's not an emergency, again, let's not use the manager on call. Put it on the broken repairs list of your department, so that your department managers can be looking at that and getting it fixed if it's not an emergency. If it truly is an emergency, of course, give the manager on call a call, but let's try and be reasonable with it and really think it through. So let's say the washer machine at the hospital goes out midnight, right? It's not working. Hopefully that's not a thing, because we just replaced the thing with a commercial one. But if that does happen, there's no one we can call at midnight to fix the thing. X-ray, yeah, call. We'll get it fixed. We'll call somebody, I'm sure, to get something working. Ultrasound and stuff like that, there's probably, as long as it's working, you can take snapshots if it's not backing up or letting you save things, at least till the next following morning. Just try to work through those things like that. Again, if something can be done in that moment, give a call. Or if you are truly unsure if anything can be done in that moment, give a call, and the manager on call can coach and say, like, hey, well, I can't actually fix it right now, but just leave me a work list message so that I don't forget. That's fine too. We're just, as much as we're trying to work on work-life balance, we're working on work-life balance for all. Managers on call do get calls throughout the night and in the morning, just like everyone else, but when we can't make a difference, it's hard to wake up that early in the morning and not feel like you can even make a difference. It's a little frustrating that we can't help you. Not frustrating to us that we just woke up, but that, dang, like I can't even fix the thing they're calling for, so you feel really bad at 4 a.m. Because we definitely are aiming to please and help fix. We don't want you struggling through anything. So don't feel like this is a don't call us. This is a let's make smart decisions on the calls we make, because we are paying managers on call as well. So just being sure that we're making smart calls there on those things. Financial issues, this seems to be the other call that frequently happens. And generally, I think it's that we have a hard time and just want a confirmation to somebody else to say, yes, I agree with you, that's all we can do. You don't have to do that though. Like if you really don't know and someone else on the floor does not know as well, of course give a call to the manager on call. But guys, we have the protocol there. I know it's hard. It's hard and it's frustrating. We have care credit if something doesn't happen just right and they need that. If they don't have credit, care credit and scratch pay won't work. But if they have a debit card and their ID and it all matches and the person's got to be there, again, all those things have to line up. That person's name got to be on the card, that person's name's got to be on the driver's license, and that person has to be present. All those things. But again, all of these things should be known before this person comes in. I know sometimes we have walk-ins and things happen, but again, so these things should be rare when you have it happen to where they literally can't pay in any way. Care credit, scratch pay, eye care. That's when I have them call a friend. I really do. I talk to them out and I'm like, listen, your pet needs some help, and payments are due at time of service. So is there anyone you can call, any family member, friend who may be able to help you and that you can pay them back? Somebody that trusts you that you can do that with. Let him make a couple phone calls. If literally all else fails and they're leaving with their pet without paying, right? That should be very, very far few in between. We do not do in-house payment agreements, but if this is happening and all efforts have been done and they're literally walking out the door with their pet with services had been rendered already that you can't take back, right? This is not just food that you can just say, okay, well, you can't have the food, you know? This is, we injected this patient with this, we gave fluids, we gave this, we gave an exam, like it's all been done already. And they're like, well, I really don't have that $120 or whatever it might be. At minimum, print out a payment agreement in-house from Avamark, have them fill it out, get the copies of the driver's license and the credit card, and put the credit card on file, and leave Beryl a work list message. At worst case scenario, again, this should happen very far few in between, because we have a huge protocol and many methods to help people, again, with credit and without credit. So, you know, there's really got to be effort put in here. But again, worst case scenario, we're not going to let people walk out of the clinic without something. So take the amount that they have to offer, even if it's not the whole amount. Take whatever they can give, and card on file, in-house payment agreement, right? Again, I'm not doing this message here to see an increase in this. Generally, this does not work well. Generally, people stop paying. It is not a great thing, but again, it's better than nothing. So if this last resort thing happens, which it really shouldn't, because again, we should be giving it to them with a phone, and everything that they need, they should be set up for success and knowing what we can and can't do. But if it does, that's the ticket right there. That's the last thing we can do. Okay. Alrighty, so that's really it. Again, continue the wonderful improvement we've had with call-outs. Appreciate everyone's hard work. I know it's been very hard with COVID and everything else. Appreciate all the extra effort for you guys helping each other, and covering each other and trading with each other and everything else, and you guys just being flexible with that. We are really trying to be extra careful to not call people on their time off. We know you need it. Everyone does, and you deserve it. You've worked so hard, so please help us with that and continue to do so. Bonuses will be going out shortly in early February. If you were able to meet the protocol from the handbook of not having unexcused absences of 3 or more during the quarter, you have earned a bonus, because I feel like everybody has done a phenomenal job and have really increased. We've seen people who aren't able to help helping, and we have seen trades and shift trades and just really good work from all. So again, if you have been able to keep up with that and not have the over 3 unexcused absences, everyone's getting a bonus, guys. So that'll be coming out soon, shortly in early February time. Will be direct deposited to your accounts. I will send out the congratulations, you've earned it if you're getting a bonus this time. But again, you should know if you're getting one or not getting one due to unexcused absences. Okay, so thank you so much for your hard work. Continue your best efforts, and have a great week. Thank you.